Hello everybody, so today I have a slightly different video for you. The other day BuzzFeed posted a quiz called How Much of a Feminist Are You? And I made a subsequent video as well where some of their employees and people who star in their videos in general took part in the quiz as well. The format of the quiz is very classic BuzzFeed style, I guess. Basically 50 statements and you just check all of them that apply. And some of the questions were interesting and I have some criticisms of them, and looking through the comments on both the quiz itself and the video, a lot of people have the same thoughts as me or are saying stuff that I agree with. I'll link the quiz down below as well if you want to check it out for yourself. I did take the quiz myself and I ticked 43 out of 50. So the first couple of questions are fine, like be willing to give up some of my salary if I had to, so that equal pay in my workplace could be a reality. That's fine. I believe that men and women should be equal, yes. Things such as I can define intersectional feminism. And then question 6 says, I don't use the phrase hey guys when referring to a group of people that includes men and women. See, I believe that hey guys is a gender neutral term, and I would say hey guys if it was referring to a group full of just women. The only time I probably wouldn't say hey guys if I knew that in the group there would be a trans woman. But yeah, in general I think that hey guys is a very much gender neutral term. And the question straight after that one is, I have taken a women's and or gender studies class. For me that question is very privileged. Not everybody has access to higher education, let alone a woman or gender studies class. I don't think not taking the class makes you any less of a feminist. For example, there could be a girl who lives in France, for example, and she could be like the most diehard feminist ever, but there isn't like a university or whatever local to her that does a woman or gender studies class, so therefore she can't take it. Does that make her like any worse of a feminist? I don't really think so. I don't know how actually widely available women and gender studies classes are in America. But then there's the issue of oh, you might not go to a university that even like provides that in the first place. And obviously the university works differently in the UK, so we don't like take specific classes really. So I did look up that, and I believe Lancaster University does a women and gender studies module as part of their sociology course, I think. But other than that, in the UK, if you wanted to do a specific women and gender studies course, you'd have to do a master's degree, and then you may not have the resources to do a master's degree because masters are quite expensive to do. And when I did find out you could do a women and gender studies class as a master's, I think only just over about 10 universities do it, so again it's not as widely available. And even as I mentioned before with the Lancaster University doing a module as part of a sociology course, again not every university may do that. If only just about 10 unis are doing that course out of the hundreds of universities in the UK, that is quite exclusive really. The question after that is fine. I think it's important to encourage girls to pursue science and math as a career. Yeah, I do think that's very important. I always get really excited when girls are interested in STEM subject areas. Then question number 10 is, I think we should change women's bathroom symbols to not include traditionally feminine clothing, skirts, dresses, etc. Now, whilst I do think that we should definitely have unisex and gender neutral bathrooms more widely available, I don't really think we should change the women's bathroom symbols. Part of me kind of hates to use this phrase, but it is kind of political correctness gone mad in a way. But hey, if somebody was to come to me with a viable new option that would be accessible and appropriate for everybody, then I would be open-minded to hear that. And then number 14 says, I do not think a movie should be released unless it passes the Bechdel test. I do disagree with that. If a movie doesn't pass the Bechdel test, it doesn't mean that it's inherently wrong or bad. Like one example is the film Saving Private Ryan. Very good film, very much loved. That doesn't pass the Bechdel test, but the roles of women wouldn't really contribute much to like the overall story. Or like Disney's Mulan is very much considered as a feminist film, but it only passes 2 out of 3 of the requirements for the Bechdel test. A further example that I saw in the comments is that Twilight passes the Bechdel test, but Lord of the Rings doesn't. Does that mean Twilight is a better role model for women than Lord of the Rings? Twilight is about a girl picking a guy, while Lord of the Rings has very strong female characters like Galadriel and I don't know how you pronounce those names because I've never watched Lord of the Rings, but there you go. I think that's a good point, to be honest. I found some other comments as well that were kind of criticising that question, which I agree with. Like this one says, the problem aside from the obviously terrible phrasing in the question is that the Bechdel test really isn't a useful metric. You could have a movie where 2 valley girls discuss what shoes to buy and have that pass the test, while a much deeper film where all the female's dialogue is to a man, say Ex Machina, for instance, would not. That's why I call it a quota. It is in no way indicative of a movie's quality or the depth of its characters, it's just a shallow tick box. A movie which passes it might have better female characters, but is in no way guaranteed to. Another comment kind of in reply to that says, I am not trying to say that every movie which passes the test is therefore better than movies that don't. It's just that the Bechdel test is truly a bare minimum. It's truly the least, in my opinion, directors can do to give their female characters independence and voice. When well executed, it can be very easy to pass the test and it still be completely shallow. Even though those two comments kind of maybe contradict each other, I do agree with them both. I think they both have good points, to be honest, in regards to the Bechdel test. And whilst the Bechdel test does test to see if the women characters are kind of well-rounded and stuff, I don't necessarily think that there should be representation for representation's sake, nor should there be just representation to fill a quota really. I know what a bad feminist is. To be honest, if you're anti-feminist, you could probably say, yeah, you know what a bad feminist is, because you probably just say, oh yeah, all feminists are bad feminists, you know? There's some more questions which are fine. Number 32 says, I have never called a woman bossy. I feel like that's quite a hard question to answer, because I feel like when I was probably 5 years old, I probably called a woman bossy, but that was when I was 5 years old and I'm 19 now. So does that mean I tick that box or not? And there's another question further down as well that says, I've never criticised a woman for not wearing makeup or wearing too much makeup. Now the never part, that's kind of the thing I have a problem with, because even though I am very much a feminist, I know that when I was about 13, 14, I definitely criticised women for wearing too much makeup, and I am honestly kind of embarrassed that I did ever think that, because I used to think that women who wear too much makeup over fake and stuff, and I don't believe that at all now. But with that question saying I have never criticised, I'd have to not tick that, even though in like this portion of my life now I have never criticised. So it's kind of a complicated question. I feel like if you're kind of being a feminist or being a supporter of social justice issues is all about growth and learning. All of the other last remaining kind of questions I think are pretty much fine. Last one that I kind of want to bring up is one that says, I believe that women have no responsibility to make a conscious effort to always be friendly and polite. I very much disagree with that. I think no matter what your gender is, you should always make a conscious effort to be friendly and polite, and it is kind of your responsibility to be like a good person. And I kind of get that it might be coming from the point of view that women are expected to always be friendly and polite, and if they are rude then they are called a bitch. But yeah, no matter what, you should always be friendly and polite, like whether you're a man, woman, whatever kind of gender you are, like you should just be a good person. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this quiz. Like I said, I will link it below if you want to check it out and want to do it yourself maybe. I won't lie, I am slightly nervous to post this video, but anyway, I just had some thoughts and I wanted to get them out. Comment below if you agree or disagree with anything I've said. I'm like willing to listen, I guess. But yeah, thanks for watching. Happy Vida. I hope you have a great day and I will see you tomorrow. Bye!